Have you ever wondered why some people seem to get ahead with their money and other people tend to just work to live? Well, in this video, we're going to show you how to make your cash work for you so you don't work for your cash. This is all about making positive cash returns. Now, it's not really a secret. It's pretty obvious, to be honest. So let's start with a little example. And first of all, what you have to do is you have to work out your money. You have to know what cash you have and what your debts are. So let's take a little example here. This person has £20,000 worth of cash and £50,000 worth of debt. So their net wealth is negative 30,000. Now, their £20,000 worth of cash is earning 0% interest because banks don't really offer interest these days. And their debt is costing them 2.5% per year. So that's quite a cheap debt, but it's still 2.5% per year that they're losing. So the outflow is £1,250 per year. Now, let's look at another example. So this person, let's say they're rich. They have £100,000 worth of cash and they have the same amount of debt, £50,000 at 2.5%. Now, as you can see, their outflow is exactly the same. So while they have a positive cash balance of 50k, they have a positive net worth of 50k, they're still losing the same amount as the person who only has £20,000. So you can see kind of where I'm getting at here. You want to have more of your money making interest, which is called yield, rather than your money losing interest. So debt, you don't really want too much debt. Let's look at another example. So your transition to net positive, how are you going to do that? So let's expand these rows out a little bit and let's have a look at some assets that you can own. So the most common investments that you can make are into stocks and property. So in this example, someone has £5,000 worth of cash. That's earning 0%. They also have £25,000 worth of stocks, and that is gaining a yield of 10% per year. Now, I've put the stocks into the most common investment, that's the most kind of popular investment that everybody talks about these days, which is the S&P 500. And the S&P 500 has gained 10% on average every single year since inception. So that's why we're going at 10%. An investment property, I've gone for an interest rate of 8% for that. And this person has £50,000 worth of equity at a return on investment of 8%. So you can see they have an inflow. So let's see what their negatives are. So most people have a car, a mortgage, and sometimes another loan. In this case, the person owns a car and they have an outstanding balance of £20,000 on that car loan at an interest of 5%. They also own a house, so they have a mortgage at least, of which they owe £130,000 at an interest rate of 2.8%. And they have a loan at 2.5% just for general daily life. So you can see that they have a positive inflow of £1,425 per year. So you might think, oh yeah, that's great, right? So their net worth is negative 90,000, right? So they owe £90,000 worth of cash, but they're servicing that debt. They're actually gaining money over time. So if nothing was to change, they would have the same amount of cash, same amount of stocks, same amount of mortgage, then they would still be getting £1,425 per year. This is the transition to net positive. This is what you have to try and achieve. Once you're net positive, you're gaining more money than you're losing every single year, then you're starting to work towards gaining larger amounts of money. So let's have a look at where that can lead. This is how you maximize your returns. And it's, I want to say pretty obvious, but paying down your debt is obviously one of the things to do. And investing in yield producing investments or assets is your strategy. So let's take a look. This is the same example as before, but this person has paid down their car loan. They have no debt on their car. They have no separate loan. They still have a mortgage, in fact, a slightly bigger mortgage than in the last example. But they have £10,000 worth of cash, £250,000 worth of stocks, which they've built up over time. So it's going to take years to build this up. And £100,000 of equity in an investment property. Now, you can see that the inflow is much, much greater than the outflow. And the total is an inflow of almost £29,000 per year. So £29,000 per year, which can then be reinvested back into property or stocks, which can then gain another 10%. So this is the way to really maximize your returns. Have more cash and investments than you have debt. Now, one of the reasons I wanted to make this video was because one of my friends I was talking to yesterday has a loan of, I don't know how much the loan is, but it's charging 10%. Yet, my friend has no investments. So he is losing 10% every single year on his loan. But he's not gaining any money at all from any investments whatsoever because he has none. If he put the same amount of money into the S&P 500, that would be an average of 10% per year, he would even out to zero his inflows and outflows. But at the moment, he is net negative. So more importantly than your cash balance or your net wealth, it's to maximize your inflows. That is the key. So hopefully you learned something there. And hopefully at some point soon you can become cash flow positive. So that gives you a wee bit of inspiration to work it out. It's not easy. It's a hard road, but put more of your money away to investments rather than just sitting in cash where it's going to do nothing, and pay down those debts. So hopefully you learned something today. I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Hit the like and subscribe button if you enjoyed that. And I'll see you soon.